Hi all. Um, I just thought I'd do a YouTube video, like a bit more about myself. This does come with a trigger warning of DV. Um, I met my first husband when I was 21. No, I think I was 20, and got pregnant within 3-4 months of being in a relationship. Um, we'd been to a party to deal with the family. Come back, he'd had a drink, obviously, and that was the very first time anything had ever happened to me. Um, so yeah, he apologised to her and said it never happened again anyway. Um, every time he had a drink, it seemed to escalate, everything seemed to get worse. I mean, it wasn't all the time he was drinking, it was whenever got money. And he used to take the money and go out all night drinking, and never knew how he'd come back, whether I had to help carry him home or from the street that we were living in because he was too drunk, or whether he was going to be violent. I never really knew. Um, there is a lot more to the story, obviously. Um, this is just a part one. Um, but yeah, it was not a nice relationship. The problem is, I was that far in, I found it very hard to sort of like get out of. Um, but when he hadn't had a drink, he was have a laugh. It was great, and then yeah, just everything just escalated over time. Things had got really bad to the point where decided that I was going to go to sleep before he come back to avoid anything happening. Wow, little did I know that, nah, it's still gonna happen. He always targeted my head. Um, you could never see anything. Everything was always covered up by my hair. And yeah, went through that for absolute years. Found it a struggle, sort of like I was on my own. I found it a struggle. I, yeah. Um, it's actually really hard for me to do because yeah, I have spoke about it, but I try and keep everything hid because of, with having my kids, I ended up with 4 kids with him in the end, and yeah, that's the only part of my relationship that I didn't resent. The fact that I had my kids out of it. People say you should have left, you should have walked out, but unless you're actually in that situation and so like you know what it's like, it's very, 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 very hard. Very hard. Um, I just thought maybe you wanted to know a bit more about me and why I'm sort of like known as Nutty Nora, because I've been through a lot in my life and I will get to that. Um, I do more parts of different things that I went through. I just thought I'd start with this so that to all those people out there that are going through this, there is a way out. Yeah, it's really, really hard. Really hard. I mean, I'd started talking to a friend a good friend of mine, or I thought at the time. But I'll go into details about that more. I said, so it took me 5 years to get out of that relationship. 5 years for all the trauma and stress, traumatic stress I've been through. Sort of like from starting from a young age. I think I was about 10, 11 when things first started. But I'm not going to go into that here, right now. I'd very much appreciate if you could subscribe so that I'm able to go live and actually talk to people, or if people want any advice regarding it. Because this wasn't the first bad relationship that I was actually in. I did end up in a worse one. But yeah, yeah, I felt lonely. The problem is that he was nice and you could have a laugh, and felt like I knew that people would judge me and think that I was lying and not being honest about how I actually kicked him out of my house, because everything escalated to the point where I had had enough. I wasn't going to put my kids through any more of it, and I decided that's it. So I turned around and basically told him to pack a bag and get out. So yeah, that was tough. That was really, really tough. But I knew my kids meant more to me than anything else. They were getting older, and I just wasn't willing to do it. That's the reason I got out. My kids, who are my world and my whole life, still to this day, they're the ones that have got me through my life and helped me cope with the different things. That's why it's called Nutty Nora, because you go through the stuff that I went through as a child, as an adult. I mean, I've had 30 years of, yeah, not good stuff. And yes, I'm pretty heavily medicated through everything I've been through, but then, and to help me actually sleep at night, because I struggle with sleep. I struggle with everything. Every day is so hard. Every day is a struggle. Even just to wake up or to get out of bed. Yes, I'm still in bed right now. I will be getting out soon though. But every day is a struggle, and I find it very hard to deal with things. But you know what? I have my kids. I have my beautiful, amazing granddaughter. That's my world, and I would do everything for. So that's why I carry on and I do what I do. No matter how hard it is, I'll still get up. I'll still do dinner, and I'll clean and make the bed, and I'll do all that. Yeah, unfortunately, there are days when I don't do anything. I'm just mentally drained. Um, I actually started turning to diamond art, and I've started doing that to keep my head occupied and to keep myself occupied. So yeah, but this is only part one. There's going to be a few more parts. I will go into more details about different things that I've been through. But just remember this, there is help out there. You don't have to struggle. You don't. And things can get better. I thought they had got better. But I didn't know. If I could have predicted my future, then yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for watching. And I will come back and do another part. I mean, it's taken me 2 weeks to be able to do this because I still find things so hard. But yeah, take care of yourself, and there is help out there. Bye for now.